Hello YouTube, and welcome to our brand new tutorial series. In today's video, we'll be covering the basics, along with some more complex aspects of making a good hide-and-seek map. I've probably included some timestamps in the description in case you're looking for any particular part. To start this list off, I would like to talk about the building. Of course, you want it to look nice, but try to set some limits. 1. The map size can vary, but don't make it take too long to get from one side to the other. If your hiders are allowed to move, then trying to find them would just be dumb. Plain unfair. 2. Find a central theme for your map. Some examples include a biome, a city, or even a fictional location from a film or game. If you want something a bit more interesting, you can even theme it around zones that each have their own theme. Whatever the case, try to make things fairly consistent. 3. This tip doesn't really apply to maps made from a single build, though if you have an open area, try to make some areas stand out. This can be particularly good if your players want to give hints, so they can say, "I'm near the dungeon," or "I'm close to a mountain." It also helps in making your map stand out a bit better against the competition. 4. Don't make structures with a bunch of confusing pathways. If you include a dungeon or a mineshaft or anything else of a maze-like nature, make a central area that things come off of, and don't have rooms with only one entrance, unless it is a special area. I'd suggest making a small sketch of your layout on paper, nothing complex. Just enough to get the room layout and basic ideas. Now that we have that out of the way, all you need is good spots. This comes down to preference, but I like to avoid using random holes as hiding spots. Instead, I tried to do a variety of things, from trapdoors leading down small tunnels, to trapdoors over cauldrons, to wait, that can't be right. Anyway, what's important is that you make the spots make sense. A lot of this depends on the size and height variation of your map, though. If your map is huge, then I would suggest maybe cutting down on the hiding spots, since, you know, someone sitting in a trapdoor like 500 blocks away from you's, not too easy to see. My last tip for making your map is don't shy away from using a tutorial. One example of that in our map is the windmill sitting in the field. If you get stuck on a build and just can't seem to get it right, it's alright to use a building tutorial. Keep in mind though, that if you do, you should give credit to the creator of the design. Let's get into the technical side of hide and seek. I'll be splitting this part into two sections. The first one, which we'll talk about, is command block free. For, say, a bedrock map where commands are limited, or if you just don't like dealing with those things. I mean, it can get a little confusing for some people. Anyway, then after that, we'll get into the complex stuff. For a good hide-and-seek map, or any map in general, you'll want to have a good lobby. For that, I'll give the wheel over to in-game me. Hey guys, welcome to our little world here. We are going to show you the basics of making a good lobby. And yeah, so first off, your palette. We already have a good palette selected here, but generally just play around with different things and try and get a good design, something that you like. It can be literally anything, but I would suggest that you should keep it generally to the theme of your map, which I've mentioned earlier. And yeah, so our design here is very simple. We just take this and basically build it up like this, 3 tall, do that, and make walls like this. And so, whatever your like design and stuff is, I would suggest try and keep it rather consistent across the map. As such, we're going to go ahead and get this and basically just make a little containing box for the player. Also, try and set yourself a size early, because it does help a lot in making your lobby feel nice. Alright, so next, after you have your area set out, you probably want rules about in the front, I'd say. You can do them back behind you too, whatever works for you, but I'd do them right here in the front. So right here, you'd have, say, Rule 1, and whatever your rule is, Rule 2, Rule 3. so on and so forth. You can build it accordingly. Next, as you can see, Caleb here is done. You want to get little team doors. This is if you're not going to have command blocks. Don't do this if you have command blocks or want to do command blocks. But you're going to want to do this. Yeah, this is mostly bedrock. Or, you know, if you just don't want to do that. And I guess that's fair. Alright, so right here you'd have a hallway that you would walk out from. And if you're on bedrock or just don't like commands, your map would probably be real close. So say your map is like directly here. This is your map. That makes it so you can just put a hallway leading straight out into your map. Do keep in mind though, there's not really a good way of containing your seekers, so you'll probably have to play it on honor code. So, now that we have all this down, you're going to want to have chests. And these chests will be where your players stock up on the things they get for the map. The Seekers will probably be getting, say, an iron sword, or give them a diamond if you want them to be powerful. And you can just play it on honor code that the hider doesn't bully them. Next, what a lot of people I've seen do, they basically will take a chest plate, well, leather chest plate, and then dye it whatever color they want. So, red would mean that you are a Seeker, and so you would take this and make a red chest plate. Okay, yeah, just imagine I put a red chest plate in there, and what they'll do is the hider will be a Seeker whenever they get hit or whatever. I don't know, it all depends on what you put up here. Whatever your rules are, dictate what the players are given. Just make sure to give them plenty to use because, you know, if people want to play multiple rounds, they want to have the stuff to play multiple rounds. So give them however many iron swords you see fit. Anyway, that's just the, you know, low-tech kind of stuff. The caveman system. So next, you'll be hearing about the, what do I call it? Like, just commands way? I don't know. The advanced option. Alright, so welcome back to this little lobby which we have built here since last time. Or, no, not since, but in last time. So, we're going to be covering this stuff. I know this looks like quite a bit, and it is kind of quite a bit, and I didn't structure it well, so here it is. Anyway, I'm going to start with the basics. These. Command blocks, which include impulse, chain, repeat. Basically, impulse. You're going to want it for situations like this, where you have a button making it do a thing. So then you make it say 1. It says 1. This is a chain, which you want to make sure is set to always active. So you want to take this, plop it here, make sure it's always active, say 2. Now it says 2. Now if we take that, hold control and middle mouse if you want to grab it with the MBT data, / have it retain whatever in here, then make it say 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's the basics of that. Now, this is a repeating command block, which basically you put say 1, and it says 1, but set it to always active, and chat's a little bit harder to read. As you can see, that right there has kinda gone pretty high, and it's pretty hard to catch up. If I say hi, shoots off the screen. So, those are your 3 basic command blocks. So keep in mind whenever you see these, it is always set to always active for these 2, needs redstone for this one, and yeah. Just keep that in mind. So, moving forward, this is the execute command. Execute allows you to create a parameter where if something happens, then you make something else happen. Say, run, say, it worked. So, this basically allows you to create wireless redstone. If you're confused as to why, here it is. So, if I get some green concrete to label this, let's see. Is that concrete? It is. Alright, green concrete, give it a button. Now, I believe this is our command. Yep. So if we hold F3, right here we can see our chords. What we want to do is take this 0, 0, 0 right here and replace it with the correct stuff. So, -3, 66. Nope. 366. Okay, so now we have a button that, when pressed, it worked. And wow, it said that more than I would have liked. Don't worry, if it's not like a say command, it's not going to be an issue. Even then, there's a fix to that. If you take the comparator here and a repeater, run these out any end you want, any of this, then you can go ahead and do that and make it say also worked. But this time, it will only say that once, and it gives out a signal, but it has to be a comparator with a repeater. Otherwise, it doesn't. It also worked. Or no, it says also worked. You must not have put it. Yeah, I didn't. Well, yeah, you get the point. Now you can connect whatever kind of chain commands you want, make it say 2 a few times. Yeah, would you look at that? So now, we have our whole button set up, and what we want to do is make a specific team teleport there, or a specific set of people to a, I don't know, some location. Well, for this, we need to have little color-coded platforms, and we can just remove all this, pretend this isn't here. I'm not going to bother getting rid of it, because it would waste time. But, yeah, for that, we're going to want this command right here. And if we just grab that with MBT, hold control, then we can check the chords right here, and let's see, our X is currently at 4, Y is 64, and Z is negative 317. Oh, whoops, there. So, now, whenever I stand there, I join team example. But at the moment, wait, I think team example might actually exist. This should be working, I'm pretty sure. Wait, /team list. This allows you to see all the teams you have. Yeah, I did make a team named example. So team join example at a, so long as they're standing here. So supposedly what that's supposed to do is make me part of that team. Let's make sure our chords are right. So it's 4, 64. Yep, they were wrong. There. And now you should see my name turn blue, right? What? Alright, if you're not dumb like me and you put in your chords correctly the second time, then you will get a blue name when you stand right here. Now, if we take this and just plop it over here, we can go ahead and say team add example 2. Sorry, example 2, right there. Now, let's make this all fancy like our previous example. So we just do team modify. Let's modify example 2, which we've just created. And I shall turn the color red for a seeker. You would name these differently, not example and example 2. Also from here, you can change a few other things. So friendly fire, false, because you don't want your seekers killing each other. You can also do, say, display name, which you'd want to do for the hiders, because you don't want their name displaying. Just hit display name, and then you would do, like, false. Done. And that's it. That's all you have to do. So now, my name will not display as a seeker. But we need to actually become a seeker, because if you can see at the top there, I'm still a blue name. So what we want to do, change this to example 2, open that, and just do -6. Make sure we actually get this right. That should be it. And my name's red now. You can see if I walk next to this, I'm not blue. Walk over it, I am blue. All commands used here will be in a docs file in the description below, by the way, in case you want to see these commands and, I don't know, copy paste them in case you don't feel like typing them, or just don't quite fully understand them and don't want to do just bit for bit. Alright, next two commands, set block and fill. So I'm only going to be showing set block because it's by the same principle. But if I stand right here, I want to set this block to be stone. So I just put -166 and -355. Now, whenever this is activated through this right here, that turns to stone. If I break it, press it again, it's stone. So you want to make this do things, and when put in conjunction with this right here, which I showed you, the execute command, if you have the comparator and repeater coming out the back, you can make this right here fill an area from that, while simultaneously TPing people by using a chain command. There's a lot of customizing, and you have to combine things together to really make this work the way you want it to. But once it works, and it does it well. Alright, moving forward, the fill. Fill is the same thing, but you set two chords. So if I set this coordinate right here, and I also set this up here, what that would then do is fill this to this in stone, as long as you set this chord and this chord. It's fairly simple, just an extension of the set block. Now, text. This is a very useful tool for telling people like when the seekers get out and stuff like that. For this, you want to just do /title, or if you're in a command block, you don't need /, doesn't mind it either, just you don't need it. Let's only give it to ourselves. Actually, never mind, let's only give it to people who are part of example 2. Because if you do this right here, whoops, team equals, if you don't uppercase that, then this right here is what you get. At a team equals example 2. Now, what you want to do is add title. By the way, this all here is target, so you can apply that to anything. Anyway, title, and you need to do curly bracket, inside of that, quotations, put text in between all that, colon, quotations, and then put whatever text you like. That's not working for some reason. I think I need to not uppercase that. Yeah, okay. And then just put whatever text you want. You want to do like really official things, like something that you know is fact, like that. So now, if you want to change the color, you put comma, quotations, color, colon, and you type your color right here. Bam! And right there, you have a really official looking thing. If you do that, stick it in a command block, maybe a chain, put it after impulse, then everything you want will work just as you want. Perfect. So now you have your titles, you can do wireless redstone using executes. When you step on this, your name turns blue or red, and you can identify which by putting example 1 or example 2 after that A. There's only one last thing to cover, and it's like the simplest thing. That is /TP add A to, sure, teleport right inside the command block. Set whatever chords you want, same technique as before, bam, pops you straight into that, bam. But, say you want only seekers to be put in this. Team equals example 2. So now, since I'm a seeker, it functions exactly the same. But if I go and touch this to become a hider, it does nothing to me. It still works, it just doesn't work on me. Anyway, oh wait, actually, I forgot to tell you guys about the hopper clock. Now, I'm not going to tell you how to build this thing in particular and stuff, but I will leave a link to a good website in the description, which can give you different time amounts and stuff, and I'd suggest trying to find someone else's tutorial on this, because I probably wouldn't describe it the best anyway, but definitely look into hopper clocks for timers. This allows you to make it take like 50 seconds for something to activate. So if you only want the hiders, seekers, to get out after so long, let the hiders have a chance, then this right here is what you'd use to do so, and then chains to activate anything after that. So, anyway, that about covers everything which you need to make a pretty good, simple hide-and-seek map. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and this will be the end of the tutorial, so I'll see you dudes in the next one. Peace.